like consists of two people, which is who are her elder brother and her elder sister. That's her
Mm-hmm.
family. And then your stakes are much higher when it comes to any conflict that the
Okay.
character is going with the sister or with the brother, because they are
Mm-hmm.
literally your, and that needs constant self-awareness, right? To even become
Correct.
different people.
Hmm.
How I get, of course, emotions are the same in everyone. But to know
True.
that if you're that person, these are
Mm-hmm.
the dominant attributes or emotions that they feel more.
लव आजकल 2 का जो आपने रोल किया है, तो आपने उसकी तैयारी कैसे की थी? एंड कोई स्पेशल टेक्निक और समथिंग इफ यू वुड लाइक टू शेयर विद आवर व्यूअर्स एंड लिसनर्स?
Yeah. So I think like for Love Aaj Kal, the major prep was that we just kept doing the lines again and again.
ओके.
Imtiaz Ali suggested me and Kartik to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, felt I was sitting with So's DA, and and he was like,
Okay. And how was working with Kartik been like, what is the best part? And how was your chemistry with Kartik went?
so Kartik was super. I think he's a very sincere actor.
Mm-hmm.
And like the second day, I had my costume rehearsal, and I know that I'm wearing these clothes and high heel
Mm-hmm.
boots. And I had to learn while on once, like in my vanity, I'm learning my monologue for the play,
Okay.
which was
Okay.
5 pages, Shuddh Hindi. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning the song also,
Oh,
which is in
okay.
Telugu. And yeah, you got to dance and be speaking the.
वेलकम टू आइकन्स बिहाइंड ब्रांड्स और मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट देवलीना नियोगी और आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग मेहमान है. मीट मिस प्रणति राय प्रकाश, एन एक्ट्रेस मॉडल नोन फॉर हर स्टेलर अचीवमेंट्स, मिस इंडिया 2015 फाइनलिस्ट से लेकर इंडियाज नेक्स्ट टॉप मॉडल जीतने तक, और वेब सीरीज जैसे मनफोर्डगंज की बिनी, पॉइजन, कार्टेल से लेकर फिल्में जैसी फैमिली ऑफ ठाकुरगंज और लव आजकल 2 में काम करने तक प्रणति ने फैशन और एंटरटेनमेंट दोनों में अपना नाम बनाया है. एंड एक सक्सेसफुल करियर के साथ जिसमें टीवी कमर्शियल्स एंड प्रेस्टिजियस फैशन वीक्स लाइक लैक्मे फैशन वीक और इंडियाज इंटरनेशनल ब्राइडल वीक जैसे रोल्स शामिल है. सो प्रणति आज हमारे साथ अपनी जर्नी एंड insights share करेंगे on icons behind brands. So get ready for her insights, journey and inspiration. A very warm welcome to you, Pranati, on icons behind brands.
Hi, Devlina. Thank you so much. I am so happy to be chatting with you. And yeah, looking forward to this conversation. I am hoping it's going to be as fun as it's been in person.
But before we set up the context, I want to know from your side, like, how the journey has been so far. It's a kind of work you have done. It's long and it's like way too much. So how the journey has been so far?
And art in general is very close to spirituality, it's the closest to living life.
True. True.
And so there's a lot of living life as I have lived this entire journey, as I have done the so-called job and been in the profession. I've actually got
Okay.
to live so much of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a little that I can say. And
You
gotten
know.
to meet a lot of people and be different people as well because of the
Mm-hmm.
characters that I've played.
So, Praniti, I want to understand from your work perspective. So, we'll cover the work first and then we will also move towards a different thing. So, you've worked in Poison, right? So, in movie Poison. तो Poison में आपकी कैरेक्टर के बारे में आप थोड़ा बताइए, what is that role, and आपको उस particular role में ऐसा क्या special लगा which drew into this particular role?
First, what interested me was, uh, yeah, this character was really complicated in her head.
Okay.
You know, she likes this guy, and then he's involved with her sister, and she is, of course, the youngest sibling who's all over the place.
Okay.
And that was something that I found interesting because it would need a lot of conviction to do it well.
Correct.
To just, it was very like, because I haven't been in a place where like I would have a sister and then she's involved with someone, and I felt like that was the challenge of it. And also like to work with the rest of the star cast was fun to do, and it was one of my initial projects, so it was nice. It was nice to just be on a set and be doing it.
ऐसी कौन सी चीज थी जो सबसे मुश्किल थी for you?
So Poison, I was in season 1, and what was
Poison.
most difficult was this particular situation. Like there's a scene where I'm in the theater, and so okay, I'll give you a little brief about my character. She's like this young girl who works at the cafe, and she thinks that everybody is in awe of her, and that she is in ways smarter than her sister and more attractive than her elder sister, right? So she has that superior complex somewhere. But when the guy that she likes her sister more, she starts to envy her sister. So that dynamic between the sister and her starts to change. And it's like then she's got that envy and jealousy bit happening, right? While she's superior and she's like the smart one. And then the theater and the scene that was difficult. So the girl, my sister, and the boy that I like kiss. So the kiss, and I'm there, and I realized that okay, there's something happening. And then that guy actually puts his hand on my hand while I'm sitting. And and like as Pranati, that was a very difficult situation to imagine, because I was like I would never approve of that. Someone else my hand. And then the camera pans on my face and like the zoom in of my face, and I was like, okay, like of course, so one had to show that discomfort of like what's happening. And I think personally that was a challenging scene for me, because it's such a complex, if that just that right expression of being the younger sister in love with the same guy as her elder sister, and going through that envy and still not being able to figure out while the guy and your sister are kissing, like what's really happening. That expression was made the scene difficult.
Yeah, at times, like when you said this, at times you as a person, like Pranati as a person and that character, that could conflict, right? So how do you manage those situations? Like you just said, that is little different, you as a person and then character. How do you, integrate yourself as a character that time in the mindset?
I think that's the part of acting, right? That you become that person. And that's why I act, because I love the thrill of becoming somebody else. Because psychologically you are kind of changing things, how you feel. And yes, it excites me a lot. And that's the challenge. That's a major part of acting. So you're not Pranati. You are that character. And to obviously get there, one has done enough research. My character's name was Ashu. So, Ashu, so Ashu has grown up in Goa, and she doesn't have she doesn't have parents. Her family is consists of 2 people, which is who are her elder brother and her elder sister. That's her family. And then your stakes are much higher when it comes to any conflict that the character is going with the sister or with the brother, because they are literally your. And when I think like one makes a solid backstory and goes about putting all the facts right, you become able to really like wear that character and act like that character. And then it's not difficult anymore. You just fine tune and you become that character. It's not that difficult.
Correct.
And also like you're spending those months, right? Like say 2 months, I'm being that character. So I automatically start responding as that character.
Mhm.
And that's the entire
Correct. So if I need to see it in the lifetime journey, so I feel you as a person, you grow a lot because, you are living a different life in somebody else's shoes, being in one life. So, and you get a chance to, live different lives in the form of different characters, right?
yes,
So,
one does. One does.
uh,
That's why such a spiritual journey because and that needs constant self-awareness, right? To even become
correct.
different people.
Hmm.
How I get of course emotions are the same in everyone. But to know
True.
that if you're that person, these are
Hmm.
the dominant attributes or emotions that they feel more. And then you
Correct.
need to be aware of what you really feel and how you would be responding to a certain situation. And hence you can change that about yourself. Like if you were that character, how do you change it? And rest, of course, your dialogues and everything kind of gives it to you. But you do get to live
Correct.
that life. You wear
True.
those
True.
clothes. Go on those sets. Like my sets
Hmm.
were like the house that I'm living in, or the cafe that I'm running, the clothes I'm
Hmm.
wearing. They were all
Hmm.
to the character. I did get to live that life.
And Pranati, moving towards the next movie, like I mean, Love Aaj Kal 2, and I was very excited to ask questions on this as well. Love Aaj Kal 2 का जो आपने रोल किया है, तो आपने उसकी तैयारी कैसे की थी? एंड कोई स्पेशल टेक्निक और समथिंग इफ यू would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
Yeah. So I think like for Love Aaj Kal, the major prep was that we just kept doing the lines again and again.
Okay.
Imtiaz Ali suggested me and Kartik to
Mm-hmm.
kind of like felt I was sitting with So's DA and and he was like
Okay.
saying the lines this during the selection part of it. And then So was given different moods that I had to speak the lines in. He was like, oh, and changing intentions. So you could speak the same line with multiple different intentions. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of giving me different motivation to say the different lines. And then once
Mm-hmm.
we set the tone and how it's going to be, I had to do the same thing with Kartik like
Okay.
50 times. The same dialogues, like we ran through our
Okay.
whatever sheets over and over and over again. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was like, not word should move from here to there. It's all got to be exactly the way it is. You cannot change anything about the script.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how like there's like the timing that's very important in some scripts, especially if it's a short one,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, and that was a major part of the prep to
Mm-hmm.
just say the lines with the same kind of energy and have that for it to have the same impact.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, yeah, that was pretty much it. And rest, I just had to be sassy and no, yeah. One major thing was, how like so I asked out Kartik, I'm like, hey, date pe chale, right? And
Okay.
yeah, and it's that is something that I had to work on because normally I would not be able to do that. Really, I don't know. I've never.
That's a good part.
But I can't just like tell someone did come mile
Like,
or like beer chale. Like I can't do that. But the character that's again doing that with conviction and actually being like super confident and asking out a guy, so would say. So like getting there, having that energy was a major part to it.
and how was working with Kartik been like, what is the best part? And how was your chemistry with Kartik went?
So Kartik was super. I think he's a very sincere actor,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he was like sincere is what I remember. Like he was really in his character. And then I did my graduation from NIFT Mumbai, which is
Okay.
in Kharghar, and
Mm-hmm.
he was in this engineering college in Kharghar as well. So we
Okay.
did talk bonded on that and like how initially he would travel from Kharghar for his auditions, and I also had to do
Okay.
that, right? Oh,
Mhm.
and it's a big deal because Kharghar is 2.5 hours from Andheri where
Okay.
auditions happen.
Okay.
So yeah, we did talk about that, and of course he was in a character of with specs and nerdy and geeky, whatever, like
Mhm.
what is his thing. Um, yeah, and he was super sincere, and we were just like, yeah, we're just like doing it and trying to get it right. I also was super confident by the time we got on set because we've
Mhm.
done enough. Usually I love going to the monitor and seeing how I'm looking and what's like the frame like. But since Imtiaz Ali sir was there, he was almost like a shadow, I would say.
Uh-huh.
He was just there, like there. Like I look there and he's there. And next I'm doing the scene and I look there and he's there. I don't know how does he do that, but he was just there, and you kind of feel like so comforted
Mhm.
as an actor.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
in somebody who really is very
Mhm.
good. I mean, I've loved a lot of his movies, so I was very happy to be on the set.
And who is your favorite co-actor to work with?
Um, to be honest, I don't think I've found my favorite co-actor yet, if
Mhm.
I may say so.
Get to find.
Yet to find, yet to
Yes.
find. Yeah, and I've always had like brothers as my co-actors or mother, and
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe
Okay.
like if I do a romantic film, like quintessential romantic movie, and then I have this actor, and yeah, probably then I would like really enjoy. I'm
Violins
saying
बज रहे हैं पीछे backgrounds में.
favorite actor, yeah, I'd
I
say
could, I could visualize those violins, in the future movies.
yes, let's hope.
Right.
Yeah,
So Pranati,
with this actor on all of your movies, I think that person would be my favorite co-actor.
awesome. So I'll be waiting for that, favorite co-actor wale answer ke liye for sure. And also want to understand how was working with Imtiaz Ali sir was like. Love Aaj Kal 2 के cast crew के साथ also आपको काम करके कैसा लगा? How was your experience of the whole journey of Love Aaj Kal 2?
So, Love Aaj Kal 2, of course, was, Love Aaj Kal 1 was a great film.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I watched it as a child, and
Yes.
to be cast in Love Aaj Kal 2 was supposed to be a big deal. Even though,
Correct.
like, I mean, just working with Imtiaz Ali sir was a
Mhm.
manifestation. So,
Okay.
I went to audition, and then I was asking Mukesh sir how was my audition, and he said that Imtiaz Ali sir wants to meet me. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember I started crying then. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, because I did it in my diary as a part of my manifestation. I'm working with Imtiaz Ali. I'm working with Imtiaz Ali 5 times.
Oh my God.
And then it
Mm-hmm.
happened. And I was like, yeah, I manifested this work for me, this role for me, or to just work with him. So, of course, it's a great, like, it was a big deal for me. And well, on the set, and just everybody in the team was very, I think, I remember like visiting the office once, and when we were shooting for it, it was monsoons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I remember feeling really cold.
Okay.
And Yazali sir asked me if I wanted something to put on. Like, this is when,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the office, there's a prep thing going on. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I was also shy, and I was like, I don't know if I should like, like you're a little like awkward and nervous, right? He's your favorite
Mm-hmm.
director. And I was, yeah,
Yeah.
I am feeling a little cold. And then he sent this t-shirt for me, which had Tamasha written on it.
Okay.
And I still have it. It's like one of my favorite t-shirts.
Yeah. I think those small efforts makes people, that differentiate people from ordinary to extraordinary. Those small, efforts, things, and
Small
little extra
gestures.
gestures.
Yes, yes. It's so thoughtful, right? To make sure somebody is comfortable.
And you believe in manifestations.
Well, given my journey, I definitely do believe in manifestations. Everything that I've done so far has been a part of manifestation. Even before I knew there is something called manifestation, because I've got a little bit of an obsessive mind. So when I
Mm-hmm.
want something that I want this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about this.
Okay.
Like, so
Mm-hmm.
bachpan, mein, I wanted these black leather shoes, boots, and
Uh-huh.
I remember I saw it with my best friend had them, and I saw them, and I kept
Mm-hmm.
thinking of it, like of
Mm-hmm.
having daydreaming of having black boots. I know it's
Right.
such a small little, but I did have
Yeah.
it then. Mama ji got me black leather boots.
Awesome.
I was very excited without me asking for it. I just got it as a gift. Then
Mm-hmm.
I love fairies. As a child, of course, we were obsessed with fairies. So I had this
Mm-hmm.
vision of me in a nice silver frock with a
Mm-hmm.
wand.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
next thing, my mom got me a silver frock with a wand. And of
Okay.
course, then to the things like Miss India or India's Next Top Model. And
Mm-hmm.
like you can see, I'm a very simple person otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like I just feel like all of those other things that have happened have
Mm-hmm.
somehow manifestations and pure intentions that I have put out in the universe. And the
Mm-hmm.
universe got back to me being like, hey, there is your gift. So yes, like
This is for you.
yeah, even the little part with Imtiaz Ali sir. And I would love if I get like a bigger part. Yes.
Awesome. That's so nice to hear, Pranati. And also I know that you have a very humble background. You are coming from an army background, if I'm not wrong, and then manifesting something into industry like, entertainment industries and model industry, which is very different, right? And so how does your background help you to think this way? It's a very different thought process. So, how do you connect your background to where you are today?
Major qualities that help me even now, and I think will always help me going forward are self-discipline,
Okay.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
high motivation level.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jans are like waking up early morning and be like, yeah, 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 they're so driven, they're so motivated. And you've seen that
Mm-hmm.
around. My dad like wake up at 4:30 and go for they call it like PT, right? The physical
Mm.
training in the morning
Okay.
happening. And
Okay.
um I think when one's grown up with it, it's just kind of in you, and hard
Mm-hmm.
work like just plays a part everywhere. So self-discipline and high motivation level, even when you again, like when I feel like shit, I feel like it's not happening, and one feels
Mm-hmm.
like giving up. And then again, my background helps me because in the army, you don't give up, you just keep
Correct.
marching, you're going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my dad that, Papa, like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't even say that enough to my dad because I would never want to say something that makes him feel like I'm not in a great state ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if I says lage raho, like keep
Mm-hmm.
going. So
Correct.
I feel like
Correct.
this again
Mm-hmm.
comes from there. Confidence in terms of just being able to talk to so many people, um, be out there, because you're
Mm-hmm.
doing so many sports activities and they put you out there, right? There's so many competitions and stuff happening inside the cantonment itself. Like today, we've got some marathon running because it's Republic
Mm-hmm.
Day, then it's
Okay.
Children's Day, you're dancing
Mm-hmm.
on the stage,
Mm-hmm.
some song. And then the parties every like alternate day, there would be some party and you're dressing up
Okay.
like a Barbie and go for the party.
Okay.
My dad kind of always didn't want me, I think, to be looking attractive. I feel like he didn't want me to be that way. He wanted me to have not basically get a lot of attention. So,
Protective
well,
daddy.
yeah, he was protective. But anyway, but yeah, we would like always go meet so many uncles and aunties, and that takes away your inhibition of.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Okay.
very good at socializing them.
Facing people.
Basic things, right? very basic things that I just talked about really helped me in my life here in the industry.
You know, you have a clarity in your head that, you know, something has come from your background and something you have already identified, that is your personal traits, like, you know, being in the fashion, you like camera, you like to be expressive, and at the same time, the fundamental values, which are the, you know, basics you have learned from the background, which is being disciplined, being hardworking, be humble. So I think, you know, this is how you have kind of integrated the values of your personal traits and your environmental traits, and you know, you are carrying it so well.
Say I have that clarity also because of meditation, you know,
You're more
to
aware.
just and not have not have any stimuli, be cut off from anything else, and just sit with one's thoughts and be there. And that's how I've come to this little conclusion. However, this is ever evolving.
So let's talk about, you know, meditation, mindfulness, because, you know, you're pretty inclined towards your own self growth, meditation, mindfulness. So, how meditation helps, or do you practice any particular mindfulness technique or meditation regularly? You know, and how, as a human, this things help you, and being in the industry, how you navigate this?
Yes, you know, you just talked about how I have this clarity, right? And trust me, I've not always had this clarity. It's because of meditation that I have this clarity. I and why I meditate is because I know the power it has, which is exactly this, to have clarity. You know, I am I'm not from this whatever this
Okay.
world. It is a different world. And spirituality is something that makes you one with everything.
True.
It's not about you and them and her and him. It's about the fact you're all one, and you kind of understand the system and are able to place yourself that here is where I am without judging the process, without judging the industry you're in, without judging the people around you. And I depend a lot on meditation because I am often in a situation where I'm questioning, what do I stand for? Like, somebody is going to be totally different. Like, okay, let's talk about this. I was talking to someone, and as a creative person, I don't want to have rigid ideas about who I am and what it should be. And who I am, I'm aware. You want to be I want to be an aware individual, right? At the same time, be very accepting of how the world is and not want to change it basis my idea of morality or my idea of right and wrong. It's mine. It's not
correct
else to follow. However, I'm also curious to know, hence I'm curious to know, like, oh, why does this person think the way they do? So I give an example. It's gonna be like, so recently I was talking to someone, and then this person was really nice and kind to me. So I have nothing to be upset with the person. But we're talking about being like somebody being polyamorous versus somebody being monogamous.
Okay.
And I was really up to understand, because now where the background I come from, all my relatives are happily married for many years and they have children. And that's the only, I can't imagine, I can't imagine really like indulging, you know, multiple relationships at the same time. And but at the same time, I don't want to really question somebody's choice of how they would want to lead their life and what their morality is. So I wanted to know, like, okay, how is somebody like that? How and why are they like that? And what really makes them think the way they do, right? Because I'm a little upset with my hair right now. Okay. So I was like, you know, because acting is all about knowing back to characters. So you want to know why your character is the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything starts to make sense. You don't judge them. You're not like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, बिन्नी छोड़ के क्यों भाग गए? क्यों भागी? You
Mm-hmm.
understand कि क्यों भागी है, वो उससे क्यों प्यार करती है? That's how I can make the scene truthful to you, by showing that conviction, right? As an
Correct.
actor, and for that conviction, put it out there for you to believe in that she is that person. When I
Mm-hmm.
totally believe, and you can only believe in something when you've understood it enough. Even if
Mm-hmm.
it's a projection, even if that belief is a projection, you need to understand where it's coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to understand, like, why is this person talking about or in support of being
Mm-hmm.
polyamorous? So
Right.
it was a person who's married. This
Okay.
person is married. And then they're talking about believing in being polyamorous. I was like, okay, fine, great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But again, I could become that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now
Okay.
it is for me
As a
to
character?
decide who I am. No, as Pranati Rai Prakash, if I have to play
Okay.
a character, I'll play
Mm-hmm.
whatever I have to. But as
Correct.
Pranati, if I'm surrounded by 10 people who believe in a certain attribute, in a
Okay.
certain
Okay.
way of,
I got it. Mm-hmm.
so really believe in it, when it comes to practicing, would
Mm-hmm.
I be comfortable practicing it? Maybe I would be comfortable practicing it. But for that,
Mm-hmm.
I need that clarity, and I would say, like, to be on the same page as my conscience, because you
Mm-hmm.
cannot do then feel like, oh no, this wasn't me, and then lose
Mm-hmm.
track of things, like, oh no. If it goes with your conscience, great, go for it, whatever it
Yes.
is. If it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't go for it, then don't go for it. But that's where self-awareness comes, right? It is
Mm-hmm.
so important, because the values everybody has is going to be so different in a creative industry, especially because life is not monotonous. It's not that you're doing the same things. You have so much stimuli around you, which is all so different. And
Yes.
that's where meditation comes in, to kind of sit with yourself and really understand who you are, what your
Mm-hmm.
roots are, which can you bend something. What do you really want? And I'm talking about it not in for the sake of being good, and
Yeah.
acceptable by the society.
So it's about what I feel, me being a spiritual practitioner as well. Even I could relate to a lot what you just said, Pranati. It's about a lot of unlearning which happens when you are practicing something. It clears your energy, and hence I think it's clearer to see, not just in the good part that it should happen in this way, but that unlearning makes you look in a bird eye view. You just zoom out and see the things, and then you realize it's not किसी ने आपको बता दिया है कि ये this is right or wrong. It's not about right and wrong, but it's
Yes.
about you understanding, realizing, and then clearing your own doubts. Okay, so Pranati, you have worked with some of the music videos as well, which I feel is very different. So as per you, आप बताइए कि how it is different from working in a web series to movies and working in a music videos.
Okay, again, what you're doing in it matters a lot.
Okay.
Like when I was dancing for the South song, it was a very different thing altogether, because that was about dancing. And then,
Okay.
yeah, so we'll talk about it separately. But otherwise, you have to give some beauty shots in the music videos, and like just
Okay.
all of that. So I don't think that's difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not complex in nature. It's simple. It's very simple. Yeah, of course, you have to look beautiful, and you have to be able to emote decently,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it.
Okay.
When it comes to longer formats,
Mhm.
with complex situations, you need to internalize a lot of things
Okay.
to
Uh-huh.
become that character.
Okay.
Um,
Because there are multiple
yeah,
episodes, and then you need to keep
yeah,
doing
there are
it,
different situations. So every
sync.
time you're doing something
Okay.
different. Yeah, like to smile is of course not difficult, now. Now, but when
Yeah.
you're like given a character, yeah, and I think the major thing is just that it's small. Like
Mm-hmm.
ads are again in size, like it's gonna be like 30 seconds or 1 minute. But that's again difficult in terms of difficult because you're selling a product. So to give just the right smile at the right second. Like this one time I was shooting, it had to be like tuck, 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 tuck. Like 12th second, I opened the laptop. Next second, like I have 1 second to
Okay.
type something, and then I walk from this place to that place. So very like timing is very important. However, in music videos, it's not so much of that. So that easier comparative compared to a web series or ad. That's my personal experience.
So your song, which which went viral and which hit 1 million views, right? The South song, which you were just saying. So how was it, Pranati? Like how to witness something like that, which you did, and
So that one,
your
that
presence
one,
was phenomenal in that, Pranati. I have just seen that video, and it was just amazing to see you there.
thank you so much. I have to say that that one killed me absolutely
Okay.
because I was doing theater and my theater character was Binare Bai, who's a primary school teacher and she wears a sari. And next thing I get this offer for the South, like the dance song. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's have a challenge.
It's
And
like two flip side.
absolutely different, you know. And to even get a leave from my theater practice was going to be difficult because our director was very strict and he did to take a holiday. But then I was like, okay, have to balance life. So I must. It was only a matter of 4 days. So and I needed to like also work professionally. So I had that meant like putting in extra effort and kind of compensating for the leave that I was going to do.
Okay.
So it's fine. I'm there. Let's talk about another song. I reached there. I don't know anybody. I'm here with my manager. That's like the only person I know. And of course, they're talking in South Indian language, which is like possibly Telugu. And straight I get into the workshop, which is like a deadly workshop because we did this for 12 hours. I'm dancing. I reached from the airport to the hotel. I my stuff, take a shower, get ready, go for the workshop. And for 12 hours straight, I'm dancing. And next day, 12 hours straight, dancing. And next day, and like the second day, I had my costume rehearsal. And I know that I'm wearing these clothes and high heel boots. And I had to learn while on once, like in my vanity, I'm learning my monologue for the play, which was 5 pages, Shudh Hindi. And I'm learning the song also, which is in Telugu. And yeah, you got to dance and be speaking those words of the song, right? So you cannot go wrong with it because you lose that one shot and you have to do the entire line or two again dancing. And there are like bunch of girls behind me who are also doing. So the lighting is set up, like momentum to it. So you cannot go wrong. And when you're dancing, ऐसा हो सकता है ना कि मैं lyrics भूल गई. So you don't have that. There's no space to forget anything. So I think that was very challenging. Dancing, oh my god! And then when we started shooting, we shot for 3 days. So well, it ended up being 5 days of sleep from there. And it was very hectic, very challenging, very, very, very challenging because my just after the first day, I felt like I need a massage. On the second day, I actually got a massage. It was painful. It was excruciating pain. And I normally don't want to say that, it was very painful because I want to come across like, I'm so strong. I'm the one. It killed me.
It was worth it, right? All the pain and the hard work. And the outcome is just phenomenal. I have seen, inside your head, how do you differentiate that sudden shift? I know it's practice, but as a human, I want to understand that as well. Often it happens to me, like I'm just running podcast and I have another role, which is like as a business owner. So it's a shift, but it's not on camera, but you are on camera, then the sudden shift is people can see that. So how you manage those energies?
Yeah, I feel like that's the major part as an actor. You have to be able to switch your hats from one position to the other, and it takes practice. It's like a sport. It's like athletics. You keep training, training, training. Eventually, you get good at it. Yes, it is a lot about internalizing. So what helped me is, this animal spirit that I talked about. So for the song, like my animal spirit is a cat. So the moment I get
Okay.
confused about how I do this, I'm just like, how would a cat react to this?
Okay.
And you study traits of a cat, like she doesn't stay around much. So when it's part where I'm with the actor and I'm doing this and I'm doing, right, or my expressions, I'm doing, or like being snappy. And there are other tools in acting that help you do that. But yeah, it's about being aligned and very focused, very focused.
So yeah, with this, let me tell my viewers also that how me and Pranti we met in an ashram, art of living ashram, and with a very different aura, with a very different environment, and we have actually shared that spiritual space together, and it was so wonderful seeing you there, Pranati. I mean, that vibrant Pranati, and you're still vibrant, so that was a very nice space to share.
Thank
And
you. It was. And I was so happy to meet you, and you were so kind for everyone who's watching. I must also say something now. Not because I must, really so nice. Like you again are like, you got such a nice, I don't know, the warmth and love that I just felt ever since I met you. And I wanted to then keep it on. And like, I'm always going to keep in touch with you. And thank you for being so nice. Thank you.
so kind
Genuinely,
of you, Pranati. And you have worked with a lot of different brands and collaborations as well. तो आपके हिसाब से कौन सा ऐसा ब्रांड पार्टनरशिप रहा है जो सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्टफुल रहा है? आई मीन दैट वाज वेरी वेरी इम्पैक्टफुल इन एनी वे, नॉट जस्ट मॉनेटरी बट इन एनी अदर वे, हाउ इट हैज वर्कड?
because when I talk about selling something, right? Because I believe in this product and I want to sell it. It's one thing, but it's another thing if it actually had a personal impact on my life. And ways I would say like doing this ad for Wonder Cement.
Okay.
Had
Okay.
that. Now again, it was a product. However, that product line, not to forget mentioning working with Kabir Khan sir, who's made Chandu Champion World 83. So to work with a master filmmaker like that, I was already like super excited and like, wow, let's do this. The writer is again somebody very recognized, and the storyline was hence beautiful, and the entire act, it's a girl who's in a college, and then there is a certain incident that's happened, like people can view it on YouTube. It's a longer ad. It's almost like a little short film where then she goes to rescue her people, goes to meet her, find her dadi, and the motivation that the character has is to basically like be out there for her dadi, and then she calls over her friends, and she's then studying in this engineering college, and then these guys go together, and the village, which is pretty destroyed, devastated because of the floods, they try to build up that area again, reconstruct, they get, and that's where the cement comes in, the one.
Okay.
Yeah, and the like the motivation was really nice, I felt. Like, and then going about making the place again, building the village again, and then finally actually build the village again, and Dadi is very proud of her, and she kisses her. So I feel like that storyline was this emotional one, and that one had an
awesome. So that's what I feel brands have that power to portray a storyline and share some societal message. Yeah. I often get very fascinated towards, how you can make your marketing message in changing the society's mindset in a very positive way. So it has had, like, I mean, brands, I feel they have done a pretty good job in shifting the society's mindset in time to time whenever it has required, starting from, daag achhe hain, from to,
Oh,
dairy
yeah.
milk is like not just kids ka chocolate to
Oh,
adults ka chocolate. So how. Correct.
huh.
So Pranati, as a person, like, how do you decide like which brand you want to collaborate with and which not? So is there anything?
I should. For
Mm-hmm.
example, something, if something talks about fairness,
Mm-hmm.
having an upper hand, over dust, for example,
Correct.
I would choose not to do it. And I have in the past because I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's not fair, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like,
Correct.
oh, fair girl is beautiful and a dusty person is not.
Mm-hmm.
So only like in case of an ideology as extreme would I
Mm-hmm.
choose not to do
Okay.
something. And
Mm-hmm.
having said that, be an actor, and my job is to do things convincingly.
Correct.
And yeah, beyond that, I don't have much power, but that's like the bare minimum I would want.
No, you have actually, shared it so honestly, what it worked. But, if the things are not aligned to your ideology and what you don't believe, then probably that is a right way to say no. But, you know, I feel, I mean, this is how you choose the things, and something which is so extreme, where you are not aligned to that, and you choose to say no, and which I feel, I mean, extremely important and respectful towards the decision which you carry, right? Uh,
So my first ad, which
mm-hmm,
was for face cream, it's a
mm-hmm,
moisturizer. And then
mm-hmm,
I remember with the director and asking her, it's not a fairness ad, right? Like, because it says be bright.
mm-hmm.
And then it talks about the attitude be bright. So the product is called Attitude Be Bright.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
I probably 19, right? So I wanted to, like, at that level also, like, at that age, I had that conscience striking me to know I'm not just
Mm-hmm,
going to ad. It must like have some sense. And then
mm-hmm.
took me a bit to be convinced that, oh, there's a girl who's gone camping and then she's cutting wood and everything. And then she goes like, so, क्योंकि मुझ में खूबसूरती से बढ़कर भी कुछ है. So
Oh,
I made sure
okay.
that even if
That's so beautiful.
not, yeah, and it just somehow comes from within.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to be true to myself as much as I can.
Lovely, lovely. That's how your intuition guides you, the gut. प्रणति, एनी डायरेक्टर और मे बी सम एक्टर जिनके साथ आप फ्यूचर में काम करना पसंद कर, मतलब यू वांट टू वर्क विद देम इन फ्यूचर?
I would love to, the many of them, a lot of directors that I really wish to work with. I wish to work with Zoya Akhtar,
हम्म.
uh, Imtiaz Ali, of course, again.
ओके ओके.
Um, um, I think Anurag Kashyap as well. And yeah, and they're like all got their different styles of filmmaking. Oh, Karan Johar.
Oh,
The
Karan Johar, please.
different because all of these parts would bring out something very different.
नेक्स्ट टॉप मॉडल जीतने के बाद जो आपकी करियर की कहानी है, लाइक हाउ वाज द ट्विस्ट?
Just finishing college, and next thing you win a title of India's next top model. I think one can't ask for more than that. At the career.
करेक्ट.
So I was very, very like, and then because it was telecasted on, my web series have released. There's some of them who call me Binni Ji. And so more than the modeling aspect of it, I think it was more about winning hearts of the people who've kind of now been a forever part of my journey. And I hope I do something credible enough to kind of have their faith going in me and for them to really cheer for me and support me and be like,
राइट.
we and give them reasons to again make fan pages that they did back then, because it was
Awesome.
so encouraging and
Mhm.
empowering. That's my favorite takeaway from India's Next
Awesome.
Top Model.
Also want to understand, Pranati, how do you connect with your fans on social media? Like, what is your approach while connecting with them?
So, well, the projects have been a major link between me and the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, every time there's a project, like I do these question answer rounds, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're replying and telling me what they like about the character that
Okay.
I've played, and that's
Mm-hmm.
been a major approach. And now I remember some names, like there's some names of people who admired me, online, and I identify them. Like there's Dari from Northeast, who's
Okay.
always like keeping a check. There's somebody, like there are different names. I'm not going to give the names right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people by name. So in my messages, in the general section, the people
Yeah.
that I try to do and I respond to them,
Oh.
right? That's
Mm-hmm.
another way of in touch.
Okay.
And of course, when you yourself are hustling and you're not in the best of your spirits, and possibly your people, who admire you, or the fans, whatever you call, they're also in some phase of life, because now it's been so many years, like it's 2016 now. It's
Mm-hmm.
been what, 8 years? So it's
Yeah.
not possible for somebody to constantly be that excited about
Yes.
your life.
Yes.
Days, right? They'll
Mm-hmm.
also get busy. They also have their life going on. They've also grown up from probably being
Correct.
teenagers, having jobs. So yeah, I feel like, and then I'm also not in the best of my spirits. So I'm not like, I don't always have something exciting to share.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
be open,
Yeah,
please
because
be
we are
open.
humans, right?
Yeah,
Ultimately.
cannot always be exciting.
Yeah.
It's like married to someone also. You're living with someone or your
Correct.
parents. There'll be days in the house when you're just there coexisting. There's
Yeah.
not something.
Yeah.
So I take it as that. Like there will be
Mm-hmm.
phases when they're just there. They're not unfollowing me. A lot of them, I bet, are unfollowing me too. I'm sorry, horrible that I'm not able to do that. But evolution of self also requires patience. There'll be mundane time. And you
Yes.
just got to and keep going and just be grateful for people who've shown belief. And I really
Right.
hope that I have to offer. And that's all what I can offer.
That's all. Also, Pranati, Manfordganj की बिनी उसके बारे में बात किए बिना we cannot end this conversation for sure. One of the most loved character, Binny, right? तो बिनी का role play करते हुए, what was the most rewarding thing which has happened?
The most important thing was that it changed me in ways.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part of it was to be desi, like to really get to be desi, to have chaat at Hazrat Ganj and speak in that deep tone. Uh, like I was having a great time. Like everything that requires you to be desi is what I could do as me, because she very, comes from the heartland sort of character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very small town, and then being the effervescent self that she is. And my favorite part was that I was able to shed some inhibitions. Like, okay, she's like playful in ways, like she's like flirting around with boys, and she's like doing these things. And I wasn't that person at all. Like even now I'm not. But that time I was so strict. I think after again got back to being that self. But like I wouldn't reply to that post 10 p.m. especially from boys.
Okay.
My but I've seen this. But Binny couldn't be that person. Binny had to be like engaging with boys and talking to. Now, when we're talking about
Okay.
developing the character, that's how you develop it. She's not like this good girl reading a spiritual book and going off to sleep, self-help book and going to sleep.
At 10.
Guys, flirting and stuff. I wanted to play that. Of course, it required me to change that version of myself for the character. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's it that it got in me, and what I thoroughly enjoyed was being like
Bahut
my Daisy.
awesome. So Pranati, now we will be having a very interesting section called Rapid Fire Round, Coffee with Karan. So यहाँ पे we have our own coffee mugs, but
Yay.
and this is fun, and you just need to answer in one word. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, if you have to meet any historical figure, if you have to have a dinner with any historical figure, who would be? Oh,
Hitler.
that's a very,
I would.
unusual choice.
I would love to understand his psychology, why he did what he did, and
Mhm.
I don't know, possibly want to influence and
Understand
feel like let's
something.
meditate. Let's meditate. Let's
That's a good
do
way to,
pranayama.
make. And what was the last book you read?
It's called Secrets by Napoleon Hill. Yeah.
And what is still there in your bucket list?
Yeah, to work with. Oh, there are a lot of things in my bucket list. I'm on 10% of possibly stuff that I want to do. A lot of
Awesome.
things. The
Awesome.
filmmakers that I want to work with, the countries that I want to travel to,
Mm-hmm.
essentially that. And then I want to be wearing the top international designer wear and be walking the ramp and just, yeah, that's just a lot of things that I still want to do.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure, I mean, आपके before our next conversation, हम बहुत कुछ और देख लेंगे. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
let's hope I'll be on 20%, 30%
Yes, yes.
of my
Apart from your work, what is your favorite hobby?
reading.
You read a lot, quite a
Reading.
lot, huh?
I do. Yeah, it's like talking to a wise person.
Mm-hmm.
Or just going. So if it's non-fiction books, it's about listening to a wise person and being in a conversation with somebody who's so wise and experienced that I'm referring to the self-help books, right? And when it's fiction, which I actually don't get a lot of time to read, then it's again escaping
Mm-hmm.
to another world, being like living in your parallel universe. And I love that.
What is the best advice you have ever get?
To be yourself.
और प्रणति अगर आपको कोई सुपर पावर मिले तो what would it be?
To be able to teleport
Mm-hmm.
to whichever country. Like I could go to Santorini and be next to the blue waters and white buildings and out there. Yeah, very basic and cliche. Sorry, but yeah.
So, what is your favorite way to unwind after a busy day?
To make myself some cold coffee
Mm-hmm.
and lie in my bed and absolutely do nothing.
That's amazing. That's again so real. Lovely. So, Pranati, we are out of the rapid fire round, and before we wind up, I want you to talk for, what are your upcoming, future looks like? What upcoming projects, if you would like to share?
So there are two projects that I'm waiting for to release. One is a movie and another one is a web series.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little tiny part in the movie, so it's okay. But the web series is a very edgy character that I'm playing, and it has the best scenes that I have, very intense scenes, and I love intense work. So I'm very excited for both of them to release. What I do in the movie is also very, very, very challenging. You'll know why I'm saying that.
Okay.
And yeah, just hoping for them to release soon. And let's see then what happens. I mean, depending on how it's perceived by people and the kind of response it generates from the audience, things move ahead. That's
Awesome.
how actor life. Future will be shaped. My future
Awesome.
will
I
be
think
shaped.
I'm looking forward towards it like it sounds interesting, the movie and the web series. So I wish you all the very best for your upcoming projects as well, Pranati. And I think we had a wholesome conversation. We have spoke about spirituality to, about your work, about being in the India's Next Top Model to web series to whatnot. And I think we had such amazing and free flowing conversation with you. Thank you for being here and accepting for this invitation. And I really had a wonderful time, Pranati.
My pleasure, all my pleasure, really. Like, it's always lovely chatting with you. And yes, it was so wholesome. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to seeing you again and chat with you again. It was all my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pranati. So, business folks, how was the video? I'm sure कि आपको ये वीडियो बहुत ही insightful and informative लगा होगा. Let us know in the comment section which part of the video you loved the most. Please do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, Icon Brands. That's all for today. I'm Devlina Yogi, signing off until next time.